Hello, folks. Still getting used to EV mucks here. I am Lawrence W. Moore of the Wayfarer Project, and welcome back to part two of our little journey through Blade Runner and the musical score by Vangelis, who we touched on last week. And this week, we are picking up where we left off in the film. And we're going to be highlighting some more parts of this excellent score, as well as more parts of this excellent story. Lots to discuss, lots to think about. It's basically an all-around artistic adventure here for both sight, sound, story, just about everything. So anyway, we're going to get on with things here. This is where I switch into stealth mode. And, so I can look around the screen and do things, and you don't just see the top of my head. And I'm going to introduce some guests here. First of all, I've got to introduce my partner in crime, both in life as well as his stream. Please welcome Liza Sahido of Psyche Opera.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
How you doing this evening?
Doing great after eating dinner.
Well, last week you had to admit to our audience. Oh, by the way, folks, part one was last week. Did about the first third of the movie and covered some things about Vangelis, a little bit of background and some of his other music. So please check that out if you haven't already after this stream, if you're here with us live. But if you want to get all three parts in order, check out part one. Next week will be part three. So now that I've mentioned that, I do want to say that last week we found out my wife here did not see the film before. And we had a hard week, so we weren't able to squeeze it in before the show. And now she has seen the film, so she can comment quite responsively.
Yes.
Alrighty, but we should be three before we get into any discussions here. So here we go. We're going to introduce, some might say he rules the universe. And those that don't say that are in a bit of trouble. Lick it. There we are. Hello, sir.
Hello. Let's get ready to Blade Run.
Yes, and in fact, we are going to leap right into it because last week we covered a good intro on Vangelis. We may cover more works by him in the future, but when they come up. But for now, we're just going to pick up where we left off in the film. And that means we switch into slide mode, and hopefully the slides are ready to go. They are. Good. And this is where we left off for folks who have seen the film. This is where we see this damsel walking through the rainy streets of Los Angeles. And there's some beautiful synthesized saxophone playing, or I guess it's not really saxophone, but beautiful synth melodies going on. We get this lonely street type of sound and everything, but it's a little bit different. It's a little bit electronic. It's kind of interesting there. And I think what we're going to do is switch right over here so that we could play this material. after I load it right here, because we are earworms and we like to hear great stuff like this. So without further ado, let's play this excerpt. We played the first part of this transition last week, so we're going to finish it up here, but there'll be enough to get the idea of what's going on musically. All right, I'll leave it right there. I think that's about as much time as we can get away with before YouTube will start saying you're playing a movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we'll switch back to the slides here. We heard that, we saw that, and what do you think about the music there, Jay?
Oh, I love it. I mean, again, it's giving you the sense of the life on the street, and also, this is at its heart film noir, and so you kind of get this, bluesy sound, and she's setting up someone, which we discover.
Yes, she wasn't just saying, "Oh, I'm going to get into these trash bags and feel a little bit cozy right now." It wasn't a choice for a place that would be comfy.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. So anyway, yeah, the trap we're talking about is, as the audience will find out, and let me make sure I can move slides ahead here. Basically, she's lying in wait, and she's lying in wait for the gentleman that's arriving in the nice little vehicle here. Now, you said last week this vehicle was used in other films, or was it another one?
A number of those vehicles were used in other films, but the one that drove by her when she was in the street has been used multiple times. I'm not sure that they didn't reuse this one for Johnny Cab for the Schwarzenegger movie Total Recall.
Well, if you ever did watch the series Pawn Stars, in one of the episodes, they decided to pass on a vehicle that was used in the movie Free Jack.
Oh yeah, it's also used in that movie. That's right. Yeah, now that is a terrible movie. Let's not deny that. But
yeah, so I guess because it was still looking all sorts of Free Jack, they passed up on it. But in any case, and then here we also see these kind of like base to columns on the left there, almost reminiscent of a future Ridley Scott film at the time, Legend, where there was like columns quite like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those columns actually exist in front of the Bradley. I would guess that they probably do. But this is shot within a real building in L.A.
Oh, cool.
It's called the Bradley.
The Bradley. And okay, so as we move forward, this is J.F. Sebastian who walks out of the vehicle, and he's like just kind of looking.
Oh, sorry,
at stuff.
the Bradbury.
Oh, Bradbury.
Yeah, I was like, I know my brain is sitting there going, that's wrong. Stop that. What is it though? And then I had to wait because I always equate it with the sci-fi writer Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, one of the good authors.
Indeed.
And so she kind of gets, she feigns surprise. She was laying in wait to kind of pretend like she's a homeless person on the street, and
acts scared of poor JF.
Yeah, and she runs away, but he's like, "Hey, you're gonna forget your bag," and she comes back, and they started talking a little bit, kind of like I don't know. I forget what lines were first, but
She's
basically
like, boy, we really scared each other, huh?
yeah, I remember that. Well, that was to change the mood because he asked her, "Where do you live?" And she's like, "I don't have a home." And so she looked sad for an instant, but snapped out of it and said,
Well, he
that
starts to turn
line.
away from her.
Yeah.
Right. It's like he's dismissing, so she keeps playing him, right, with little
Well,
things.
I mean, he didn't. He felt like that's not a great line to keep conversing with. It's like, oh, I'm sorry about that, but I'm getting out
right.
of here.
But she needs to sweet talk him into letting her into
Yes.
the
Yeah.
apartment.
So she says, "We sure scared each other, huh?" And he's like, "Oh yeah," because he is pretty much a very nice chap.
He is a bit of a loner.
Mm-hmm. And there they are, kind of conversing, and basically he learns that she doesn't really have family, and she sure would like something to eat, and he's nice and says, "Well, I've got some stuff," and he's like, "I was hoping you'd say that," and she was planning that he'd say that.
Indeed.
So I wonder if they got any info from I-Man about the personality type of J.F. Sebastian.
Well, remember she's a pleasure model, so she would know how to read men.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this was something, as they're panning through the building.
Brown. Also, was that an audio cue I saw
Oh,
on the prior slide?
Oh, indeed that is. I'm glad you're there.
Yeah.
We're going to hear some more audio here. So let's go here to, as it marked out, clip 11. And, all right, that's the placeholder. And here's 11. Okay. And then I need to do this. Okay, I got a little bit more than the music there, but yes, indeed. I wanted to get that in because those are, there's segments throughout the film like that where it goes to the screens.
Yeah.
And
The
you
blimps.
have singing in the screens. And at one point, my wife was watching it. She said, "Oh, that sounds like a Muslim call to prayer." I was thinking, no, that's what Jay spoke of last week, polyglot.
Yeah.
It's a polyglot call to prayer, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you basically just got all of these cultures smeared together. Got
Yeah.
Japanese woman, dressed up like a geisha that's doing songs that sounds, very suspiciously like a Muslim call to prayer.
Yeah,
Or-
exactly. That's what. But in any case, I thought it was still beautiful, just this involvement of some world music, futuristic world music, and
Yeah, and you get that scent that sounds like a cat yowling.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, it gives you that creepiness of the streets. Or a
It
stray
also gives you a
cat.
bit of a hint about Pris.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because like
Foretelling.
when JF turns away from her to open the door, she gets that serious face, and it's like, she looks a bit dangerous. Well, it's because she's a lot dangerous, actually.
And then we're about to. This is where in the movie it pans up, showing the inside where JF lives. And I'm not sure. Are these people or statues?
Mannequins.
Yeah, okay. I was hoping so. So anyway, the lighting has swooshes of like cones of light and everything like you see frequently in the film, but
Well, you've got that big,
Yeah.
the big glass roof and the blimps going by, doing their light and all that stuff. And so that's all spilling in here, and there's no natural light in the halls. It's trying to show that this is essentially like an empty building, really run down.
But JF did say that there's no housing shortage there.
No,
She
no.
asked, "Do you live alone?" And he's like, yeah. Well, we'll see. He has some companionship that he built.
Indeed.
He opens the door, they go in, and then he closes the door and locks it because it's still probably not the safest of neighborhoods, but he's got them probably one of the more dangerous people of the streets inside. So anyway, is that some of his friends there, I believe?
Yeah.
Now, the first time I saw this, the way they walked, they seemed kind of robotic to me.
Right. Because they're
And
supposed
then-
to be like wind up-ish a bit.
Yeah, okay. But Liza thought, well, maybe they're like almost organic machines like the replicants too. But I thought they'd probably walk a little better.
Yeah,
So, I don't
I
know.
think the kind of the hint from it is that these are not organic, although there may be some organic bits to them, but that he's making these toys because it's kind of in line with what he does at his work, but it's in the past, right? And because he has Methuselah syndrome, which we find out later,
Yeah.
it kind of makes a little more sense.
And right there is where one of them bumps into the doorway a bit, which makes Chris laugh. So I guess that kind of was giving more of like the sense of Clockwork People.
Yeah.
And so she had a little bit of a chuckle at that. But anyway, they were just two little guys that came out and said, hello. I don't remember the
Oh,
lines.
JF.
And there is, no, before we move on,
Look
this
at
is, I
that.
guess, is the last scene here. So basically, she's like, he finds out that she does have a friend, and the friend will be coming tomorrow. I'll let him know where I am tomorrow. So it's almost like saying we're going to be spending the evening together.
Well, the hint is essentially, I'm just going to stay here overnight, and then, I'll meet up with my friends, because she doesn't say the friend will come over.
Oh, okay.
Her wording is intentionally vague.
Yeah, I'll let him know where I'm at tomorrow. Okay. So anyway, we don't get any more information about what happened to them that evening, but we do have another audio segue here, number 12. So let us switch to our audio enjoyment mode, and we're going to pull up number 12 here. I wish I could just pull up the next one and not have it go to the placeholder in between, but that's how it is here. All right. At least it's quicker than it used to be. Now, I'm going to pause a moment because I don't want this segment to get us knocked down right away, because we got halfway to go here. But I thought that was a pretty cool segue, just a little bit of outside and then the apartment playing the piano.
Yeah.
And
Where you're not quite
basically-
sure if it's diegetic or not until you see him playing the keys.
yeah, exactly. And then, but then he kind of seems to drift off pretty quickly here. Like,
And we have one of the more controversial decisions by Ridley Scott in his later cuts of this movie.
and so we shall see what that controversy is. That looks familiar to me.
Doesn't it, though?
Right. Doesn't even match with the rest of the film.
That looks like 1985.
Oh, but Ridley assures us that this was shot at the same time.
Okay, and I was just going to ask you, I can't quite see in the photo what the photos of
Yeah, so that's one of the photos that he got from Leon's stash, and it's just this picture of an apartment. And so he's looking, and then he realizes, hey, there's a mirror in that bathroom.
Yeah, and we're going to see coming up next what he does in exploring that mirror. But Jay, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about uh, the significance of the unicorn. Although I do have something to share on that a little bit, I felt like I don't know, it reminded me of something, and I think that something just might be it.
Nothing is more magical. As long as they roam the earth, evil can never harm the pure of heart.
So I am assuming that as long as that unicorn is in your dreams, evil
Darkness
cannot,
will be held back. Yeah,
yet darkness will be held back. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that's what Ridley was trying to express there.
Yeah,
So anyway, go ahead and let us know
yeah.
your thoughts on the.
So this is a retcon by Ridley Scott, who, for some reason later on, decided in his head that Deckard is a replicant, even though the writers themselves are like, Ridley, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's wrong. Harrison Ford has actually said that as well, but Ridley, because he has the ability to edit movies, in later cuts, adds in the unicorn dream scene, which is then ties into Gaff at the near the end of the film, putting down the origami unicorn, which the suggestion is, given that dream, suggestion is that Gaff knows Deckard's memories just like Deckard knew Rachel's, because they're implants, and that Deckard is a replicant.
So really, all of that is just to line up with the origami unicorn at the end of the movie that was left seemingly for Rachel, or maybe, he's trying to suggest maybe Deckard as well.
Yeah, so this is when the original movie, you could certainly try and put things together such that Deckard is a replicant, or Deckard is a human, right? And the ambiguity of it, at times people enjoyed. The fact is that the original movie, the way it was put out, it is pretty damn clear that he's human. The only way that, and Ridley then decides to go, no, actually, here is the answer, and then puts in this unicorn scene. It would be like, John Carpenter, in a future edit of The Thing, announcing, by the way, at the end, when Childs and Kurt Russell are sitting there, this one's the Thing, or none of them their Thing, or whatever, right?
Not Brian in the chat. Could you please read Not Brian's contributions?
Yeah, so according to Sean Young, Ridley Scott wanted to make him a replicant from day one, but the studio didn't think an audience would identify with the replicant protagonist. So, firstly, Sean Young is notoriously insane. Also, she wasn't a major part of the movie, really, and didn't have a lot of interactions with. In fact, her interactions with both Ridley and with Harrison Ford were pretty negative. But again, Ridley can want all he wants. The fact is that the guys who wrote the script have told him he's full of shit. Well, and it also it undermines the final the scene with Roy Batty at the end with the Tears and Rain speech.
Yes.
Yeah.
100% agree with that.
Go ahead, Liza, if you want to.
No. I agree with Jay. I have nothing else to put into that. Yeah,
Okay.
it definitely undermines, and that's the most important scene in the film. That's where the theme or the message, it's kind of a moral story, is revealed, and that unicorn name just ruins it. Yeah.
But you notice something there. Thanks for staying up late and joining us, Not Brian Young. I think that's the name, Not Brian Young, which means he is not related to Sean Young. trying to make a joke there. But I guess.
Try harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Yes.
It seems like, probably the most common activities in the film are smoking and drinking. And so we see a little bit of that there.
This is a different time, you understand.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, and again that speech, which we'll get to in the third episode, but that speech is true for not only for Roy but for every human, right? The things that we've seen, the memories that we have, we can only imperfectly transmit them to others. And you'll never be able to share the experience, right? And that's why this entire movie is essentially about other minds and the how you can't know what's actually going on within a person or replicant or whatever, right? And so by every account, the replicants are human. They're engineered and built, but they're still human, and the only reason that they're treated a certain way is because of the way that other people conceive of them, which is that you're not actually human.
Yeah, and that's how I took the thing at the end where Gaff says his line.
We all die at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't we all? And I took that as like, well, yeah, humans may live longer than 4 years.
You mean the one about the
naturally.
Rachel where no one lives forever, but then again she won't live forever, but then again who of us does?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Or you seem confident about it, so I'll go with your quote. So it was basically like that. I just took it as a commentary that, we humans may live longer than 4 years, but we still don't live forever. And,
Yeah, and you don't know what your time is, right? The thing about the Nexus 6 is they know generally how long they're going to last. And it's only
the humans do.
Right. Well, they find out. And again, it would be hard if I have a colony of Nexus 6 and you're like, I'm noticing that people keep getting up and leaving and then they don't come back after a certain amount of time. Wonder what's going on here. And they're at least as smart as humans. So they would figure out pretty quickly. Seems like we've got some sort of lifespan.
We got a super chat, people.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Well, please flash that up.
Yes.
Jay, would you do us the honors?
Well, that's Common People, chairman of the board of Earworms for £5 which I believe only further increases his stake in the company. You're all wrong. I'm right because I use real money.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, or is it replicated money? Is common people's wallet a replicant?
That's not real money. It's implants, Common. It's implants.
Implants.
Yeah. It's Tyrell's niece's money.
Well, and now talking about some interesting piece of machinery. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
I thought this was really cool. And I guess even though there wasn't much steam coming out of it, I think this kind of relates to the whole steampunk,
This is so it's not really steampunk, and this is more again like the cyberpunk of the era, what we would
I'm sorry, I meant cyberpunk.
Retrofuturism and things like that. The one thing, well, so funny thing is that my wife and I were watching something, and she kept looking at it. She was like, it feels like that's steampunk, but it's not right. And I kind of agreed with her. And the term we came up with for this other thing is clockwork punk, because it seems everything is kind of very mechanical, but it seems like it's run by springs more than steam. And so this one is the cyberpunk. We're trying to project into the future with what we know right now, which is a bit imperfect because CRTs are still there.
Although this day and age, my VHS player is kind of clockwork punk as well.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah. Well, they always were if you've actually opened one up.
Yeah. Well, it was it clicks pretty loud like this.
Oh, its mainspring is getting a little weak.
Yeah. So anyway, so what we're talking about here for anyone that hasn't seen the film, well, you want to see the film and take it that way, but basically the idea is like this is a monitor where it's time to do some investigating on this picture. And so he pops the picture in and it comes up on screen, and then he's able to zoom in. He's able to almost peer around angles and stuff too. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
that's
this is everybody that thinks that the joke about CSI is zoom and enhance. No, this is actually the origin for that. And yeah, you have the voice control. The idea, I think, in general, I mean, if I was trying to come up with a plausible explanation for why it's able to see around corners and things like that, is that it's the photos or at least its processing of them are like a light field. And so, which is true for like holograms, these light field capture devices where, depending on the angle that you're viewing, you can actually look around things because of the diffusion of light, the way that you hit it. The problem is that it doesn't quite line up with this because you would have to have an understanding of all the lighting in that room and what it was at that time, and then be able to use the differences to infer what's going on.
Yeah, it would have to be holographic in a way, like the light and from
I mean,
different
technically
angles,
you could do it. You could do it with just a 2D photograph, but it requires a tremendous amount of information about the actual setting at the time that the picture was taken in order to look at differences.
Liza,
Maybe,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Maybe it's also something simpler, just AI reconstruction, guesstimation.
Yeah, that's essentially what you'd be doing, right? So if I've got if I have an empty room and the lighting is non changing, right? If I take a picture of that room and then I put someone in behind a wall, the subtle shadows and the micro differences in light that would show up on the jam and things like that, you could use that difference to infer what's behind it. Now, again, it's going to be probabilities, which again is essentially what AI right now is. And so you could, run through some different things, but again, it requires such an accurate measurement of light and all that stuff. And Leon's walking around with like Polaroids. They're not quite that, not quite that accurate.
Yeah,
But
Polaroid sponsored this film.
but I love the as Tom is saying, it's a strong scene in the detective arc, right?
No, it's beautiful because he's like, I don't even remember the numbers he was saying, but he was saying back this way. Zoom
he's
that
given
way,
the
and
grid numbers that he wants, to be enhanced, and then
And,
to stop. And
I guess here he gets to a section where you see almost like a cluster of the scales, like the one he found in the bathtub.
no, I think this is actually up above, like a boa, a feather boa kind of thing, right? A wrap that she's using, but then it zooms back out and you see Zora in the tub, I believe.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, and she might have a scale boa.
Yeah.
She likes snakes, but anyway, it's
See, does
Yeah,
pleasure her.
we eventually get her there, but it's like, what was Leon doing, taking Polaroids of them like hiding out in a hotel with a snake in the bathtub?
Well, that's why Roy asked him, did you get your photos?
That were so precious to you,
Right, because and again that goes to the is Leon doing that because the mortality that they're all feeling, that he wants to capture these moments,
yeah.
as things that happened.
Because these replicants weren't like Rachel. They weren't. They weren't. Shall we
They
say,
don't have memory implants.
Yeah, their inception didn't come with memory implant.
Right.
So there is Zora, and So he's able to see the face of Zora, although he did see her when Bryant was showing images of the four he's looking for.
Right,
back
but
at the
this
beginning of
is
the
going to be
film.
more accurate to what she is right now.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because before she was wearing like a tam on her head, like the rest of them
Yeah.
in those photos. So, but it was cool, just the way it zooms in and out, zooms around angles and all this, and it goes click, 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 click.
Yeah.
It's just like it's almost like a slide projector type click. Well, it isn't a slide projector, but you just had that going on, and it was really cool how they did that. I mean, it's a serious entertainment center there. So anyway, he did get an output, a printout, and so he's got some face there that he wants to then investigate. Oh, I saw a musical cue number there.
Oh, look at that.
Is
13.
13. And
Well, quick
so-
question:
Go ahead.
was Deckard's only mission with this woman was just to kill her?
Yeah, he's supposed to retire them.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how we prefer to call it, retire.
Yeah.
Because it makes you really sympathetic towards this woman, because all she was doing is trying to earn a living and make a life for herself, and then all of a sudden,
Well, I mean,
Well, no.
they were
so-
made to be doing certain things, and I think Jay said what she was made for last week, but it was something like, isn't it like political
she's part of a kick
assassinations?
murder squad
Yeah.
for political assassination.
But-
Yeah.
But they know they can't live her. So she's not just trying to live her life. What she's trying to do is get a cover, so that
Okay.
it's hard to find, because they are all trying to get to Tyrell and find out a way to extend their life.
Okay, I see. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Although that in itself is a sympathetic motive. They're just, they're basically slaves, and they're fighting for their freedom, if you think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And want life enough to enjoy that
Yes.
freedom.
So
Right.
Deckard and the rest of society are in the wrong. So they're really the heroes of this
Well,
film.
they also do some pretty nasty stuff.
They
to
do
try
nasty.
and-
I agree. I agree with that. But what would you do?
Right. This
Well,
is
I know.
Well,
know,
I think this is why they're sympathetic, because as with all living things, they wish to live, and be free, and the threat of being retired, and or have this artificial lifespan in place, you as with any living thing would fight to stay alive, which is what they're doing.
Right.
There's some interesting questions regarding the applicability to humans, and the idea that when your mortality is looming, it tends to clarify the mind wonderfully, and that's kind of what's going on with them. The thing about like Roy when he confronts Tyrell. He's literally meeting his maker,
Yeah.
right? And asks give me more life, and he's like, can't. It just doesn't work out that way. And Roy, lashes out. Part of them is that they're emotionally immature, but also
Right.
again they haven't lived long enough. But humans are the same way.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna die. What? Why isn't my God saving me? Sorry, can't intervene. It comes with the meal, right? When you're alive, necessarily death follows.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Bayona Rad there in the chat. I just want to give a shout out because earlier this week I heard that name called out by the wonderful Cecil from Cecil Says.
Nice.
Bayona was in Cecil's chat.
Cool
Excellent.
beans.
And I heard it. So anyway, here we go. This is our musical excerpt. Eat Your Heart Out Sting in that
Yeah,
song from
yeah.
the 90s, Desert Rose,
Yeah,
was it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing I really love about this music is it's like ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And the acoustic world music and electronics. And then it wasn't until the 90s that started becoming popular for artists to do.
Sting, Shakira.
Yeah.
Yeah, a ton of other artists.
Now, the way I see things here, Adam's chats came up on screen behind the video here, kind of faded in the background. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys to let me know if there's folks that you want to...
No, he's overlaying.
Well, not from my perspective, I guess, because I'm the player.
Yeah. Could be.
And so I see the bars over the folks like Bayona. I see that he chatted, but
Nope,
can't read
he's laying. It's an overlay with a dark alpha channel background.
okay. Well, either way, I was just saying I can't see it.
Well,
So
that's
tell
too
me
bad.
that. All right.
Heavy
Well,
is the
anyway.
head that wears the crown.
Okay, here we go.
Fish?
I just wanted to stop there on fish.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out. Well, that's what he thought it was.
Well, it's a scale. I mean,
Yeah, it could be a big fish, big largemouth bass, something like that.
yeah.
Something you might think of. Do griffins have scales? Well, griffins don't necessarily exist. So,
Yeah. I guess
Anyway.
it depends on the definition.
yeah, okay, here we go. Here's where he's asking fish, and it's going to be explored now by another pretty interesting device being utilized by this lady, and some pretty good graphics for the time, I think. I don't think they were computer generated, but
No, I mean, I think
they'd be a lot more pixelated.
Yeah.
But good graphics nonetheless. And
She finds a serial number.
yes, I'm waiting for Psyche's chat to fall away so we can see.
Sorry, guys, just to interrupt. Lawrence only needs 140 more subs to get fully monetized on YouTube, so you could help us out a lot with a little sub. Thank you. Okay, I'll take it off now.
All right. Well, thank you very much. There we go. So we can show the lady's face because, she's good at her job.
Those are some women that have seen some years
Yeah.
and a lot of sun.
Well, they wanted characters in this to show that they're kind of worn down living in Los Angeles.
Well, and again, the different races. So these look like Mongolian, like people from the steppe or whatever. But here they are. She's using an electron microscope to look at
A scale, and basically determines, no, it's a snake, and in fact, it's made locally. You got the serial number off of it. It's cool that they put serial numbers on every scale.
Yeah.
But you got the serial number, and she got a name. I forget the name, but we're off to see.
Going to see Taffy.
Oh, wait a minute.
What am I?
Didn't he go to see the creator of the snake first? Or no, he went to the bar first.
No, he goes to the bar.
Okay. Well, he's hoping to find Zora there. So here we
Licenses in order, pal.
go. Yeah. Well, first of all, I just wanted to show you the type of entertainment there. Although we can't show all the scenes from this. YouTube does not want showing of certain things, and this is the kind of folk that you find here in this club. Here we go. And Deckard approaches the bar, finds a gentleman sitting at the bar who he could determine seems to have a bit of ownership there, and that's him. Now that actor looks familiar. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you know the name?
It's been a while. He is in I think one other movie that I've seen. and I'm trying to remember if it was one that that we watched for B-sides or if it was just something we discussed.
Awesome, a B-side.
Maybe Adam knows.
Yeah, Adam may
Adam.
know it.
Just
Adam's in the
folks,
chat.
in case there's anybody here that hasn't heard of B-Sides or at B-Roll Stage, down in the description next to Jay's name, you'll see at B-Roll Stage where you can join the channel for Friday night B-Sides, where you get to see pleasurable movies. I was out of commission this past Friday, but I did catch up with things after the fact, and yeah.
Well, it's
The
Noir
entertainment
Vember.
is the panel, not the film.
I mean, it's Noir Vember, so that definitely matches
Yeah,
up
that was
with,
Hawaiian Noir.
Blade Runner as well. Yeah, Adam, the guy who plays Taffy in Blade Runner, what other movie has he been in?
Yeah, last week on B-Sides was Hawaiian Noir. So
Yes, it was.
not an island chain known for noir too well, but
Well, it is now with Hell's
They did
Half
it.
Acre.
okay. So anyway, this guy's the owner of the club, and he basically at first tells him to go away, and Deckard says, "Well, you know, your license is in order," and then he says, this
Get
guy's
the man
dry.
a drink.
Get the man a drink."
Yeah.
And then I guess he indicates that the lady in the photo that you're looking at there and want to know about is about to appear on stage. So he didn't say it that way. He just kind of,
Yeah, he's basically like, get the man a drink, and if you wait, then I'm sure you'll see the woman you're looking for. I'm not going to tell you anything, but
yeah, he just kind of,
I will enable your discovery.
Now we hear the announcement of the performance, but we don't get to see it. Would have been interesting to see, but I'm sure that would have put this,
See the woman take pleasure from the snake.
it would take a rated R film. And
Yes,
make it,
yes, it's very,
rated X.
yeah.
Snake. All right.
Yes.
So anyway, and he's looking through some other photos as this happens. But as we'll see soon, his mind does wander.
Hack-O-Lantern, that's what it was. Yeah, it was RLM. Yeah.
All right, there we go. You see, B-Sides is your source for knowledge as
Yeah.
well.
Well, to be fair, Hack-O-Lantern is bad enough to be on B-sides, but I don't believe it's out of copyright yet.
Well, they know a lot of good movies too. They just don't show them because that's kind of hard to do. You got to show the public domain ones, and even those get copyrighted claims and all that. So anyway, somehow Deckard here.
He's going to make a call.
Yeah, he's going to make a call because he can't get this woman out of his mind, you know?
Well, she left on such good terms.
Yeah. It's like a shame. We don't have payphones anymore. They did in 2019.
Yeah. Pay video phones, no less.
Exactly.
And notice the Bell logo on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, boy, 2 years later, wouldn't that be that fun?
Yep.
Yeah.
When
and it
Ma
got
Bell was
divided
broke up.
Oh, it just became a lot of different baby bells.
Mm.
So anyway, yeah, he was calling Rachel because I guess he had her number. 8675309.
Yep.
Ay, ay, ay.
You got her number on the wall.
Yeah, and so, but she's still trying to come to terms with the fact that her memories are all implants, and she's probably not even sure when she actually began.
Yeah.
And they ended, and so he's like inviting her to a strip club.
Well, yeah, I do love you. When it comes to, I usually don't have people leave my apartment when I've been so charming.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That irony, yeah.
Yeah, he said that, and but yeah, that's where he says that line.
Yeah.
And no, she said that I don't really like that kind of area you're in. He's like, we could go somewhere else, but she just hangs up basically. But fortunately, he made that call.
Yeah, and that call was also accurately charged. He talked for 15 seconds. It was $1.25.
No.
That's definitely when AT&T was in charge.
So anyway, the show's about to begin, but we as the audience don't see it. And but later, Deckard's in the hallway where other performers are milling around, and he, like everybody who's just trying to find someone, gets a newspaper and looks at it, because that's one thing. If you're being trailed by somebody, don't consider the people reading newspapers. That's just totally genuine.
Well, you might nowadays, because there'd only be one person.
But back then, that
Oh,
that
yeah,
was the thing that was
newspaper
in all
was
the
ubiquitous.
movies. Well, it was also the thing in all the movies. That's what.
Right,
Right,
but there was a
because-
reason it was there. I mean, it was, newspapers were ubiquitous.
Oh wow! And there she is, wearing her
Indeed.
studs. Those are basically like glue-on, like gems or diamonds or something like that. I assume.
Yeah, like rhinestones or something, but also, again, the big glitter things.
Oh, rhinestones. Are we looking at Rennie L here?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, there we go. He's decided that's probably her. He can see through the stones, and then this is kind of weird here. The dialogue. He introduces himself as someone from basically a union of some kind.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm not here to get you to join, but I'm here to just.
There's been some complaints about the management. Felt yourself
morality.
exploited in any way, or
And he talks that way too. Like,
Yeah.
Jay is not exaggerating.
Yeah.
That's really. I was like, as soon as I heard Harrison Ford speaking like that, I'm like, what the?
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing?
It's bizarre. That was bizarre.
Do you know the reason, or I mean, was like at this point he knows it's her that, right?
Well, he's pretty sure it's Zora, but the thing is that it's not enough to just zot one.
Yeah.
You want to get information about all of them so that you can hunt him down.
Okay.
He's not just I kill and that's it. He's a detective as well, so he has to figure out where they're at. And again, there's a reason that when Rachel asked him, have you ever retired a human before? No. But this is why is he wants to be certain. He doesn't want to make a mistake.
Well, my controls for going forward and backward were covering up the second half of what Adam Gray said. But I think he called her Jamalama.
No, it's
No.
Joanna Cassidy is the actress, and that's
Oh.
her actual snake. She owns that snake. Well, did.
Oh, cool. Well, Jamalama. I'm gonna get in lots of trouble, especially last week with the whole Edward James Olmos.
Yes, that was a bit of an issue. But yeah, this is. I mean, you have the picture where he's zooming and enhancing or whatever. Then he takes a scale and also this is him being a proper detective because he wants to be certain of his targets.
And he does check out the snake a little bit later and ask her about it.
is this a real snake?
No, of course not.
I think that's a little bit after the fact, after she takes her shower. Right now, he's still talking about this whole thing about,
Well, there could be holes.
Yeah, we got to check the holes. You never know what.
Dirty little holes. You'd be surprised what a guy would do to get a glimpse of a beautiful body.
And she's like, nah, no, I wouldn't.
In this freaking town?
Well, not only that, dude, you're here. I know you're full of crap.
Yeah, and then she's taking a shower and getting the rhinestones off, and we can't show some stuff because she didn't come out. Well, she probably wasn't clothed the whole time, but the film does show some things we can't show on YouTube.
Indeed.
And although here we get the point of contact where basically he's pushing this thing, but as we'll see, she's not quite buying it. So after she dries off with the towel,
She tells him to dry her off the back.
yeah, and
Dry my back.
yeah, dry my back, because she's about to put on a leather. Looks like it hooks around the neck, and she looked pretty bare-backed after that and stuff. So it's a pretty
And then
some
she
scanty
demonstrates her training.
gear. Yeah, which we get to partake in after this next segment, because that's the end of those slides. And we're going to do our journey into... Oops, hold on. Got to click the right thing. Boomerang. There
Oh no,
we
we're
go.
journeying into the mid.
Yes.
This is the halftime show, folks. Except it's not the halftime of the Super Bowl. It's... Yes. Is this Daryl and Daryl?
Yes.
Not to be confused with Larry, Daryl,
Yeah,
and Daryl,
yeah.
although that is appropriate to this film because
Indeed.
Larry's in it.
Yeah, Daryl Hannah has not aged well.
No, here's the thing. Just because you see two doesn't mean that it's AI.
Again, I think this is Daryl Hannah from.
Oh,
multiple
she
kids.
hasn't aged well, not as a joke, but she just
No,
hasn't
she hasn't
well.
aged well. Yeah, Daryl
Okay,
Hannah has
all
not
right.
aged well.
No, this is real. This is a real collage thing from some. I mean, I didn't get to read an article because I don't have any membership to any of these celebrity sites, but it was like a Google image that led to one of those, so I assume it's not AI. Although it'd be interesting some of those.
That is not Daryl. Oh, no.
No,
That could be her other brother, Daryl.
yeah,
But
I
that
asked
is
for-
that was what we call hideous.
I asked for Daryl Hannah on the set of Blade Runner, and that's what I got.
That's what you got.
That's what I got.
Choices were made.
And how about Splash? The movie Splash. She was in that.
That's not her in Splash.
No. Nope.
Could this be a promo for the movie Splash?
No.
No.
Not even.
I keep telling him
unless it's the porn parody.
he's got to stop using Brave, but he insists.
This is
Yes,
not
well,
Brave. This is Stable Diffusion. I
Yeah.
actually asked for Daryl Hannah on the set of Splash, and I got.
I'm
I got
I'm not sure that
Daryl,
your
Larry,
diffusion.
and Larry.
I'm not sure your diffusion is actually stable. Yes, as Common People points out, she has another couple of arms coming out of her.
Those guys don't look all that great either.
Yeah. Well, again, at least they don't. Well, I guess that one guy may have an arm coming out of his rib.
Yeah.
There's
That
a
is
growth.
weird. Yeah.
There's
Mr.
a growth.
Yeah,
You
it's
need to
Daryl Hannah.
find-
It's the Splash and the Thing crossover.
And then how about that?
That is a
Yep.
that very much looks like one.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a
And-
cute movie.
Yeah, I barely remember it, but I guess
Oh,
it's
it's
worth
a cute
revisiting.
movie. Yeah.
But it's the old tale, like that the mermaid comes out of the sea and the fisherman has to let her return to the sea. Otherwise, there will be grave consequences or something like that.
Yep.
So anyway, but here we are. Is this a young Daryl Hannah?
I don't think so. I think that's AI.
Versus this one I'm comparing to here.
That looks like Daryl Hannah at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is the correct one. The other one was a fake that I made in Stable Diffusion. Well, I didn't make it. I just asked
Oh,
for
of
it.
course. And the Ren.
Oh yeah, they're at the
Fair.
Ren
Yeah.
Fair, and
Yeah.
that's Larry's other brother Daryl at the Ren Fair.
Well, we always do Ren fairs, but what about this one?
Well, I mean, you got Mr. Brown there on the right, and oh my God,
Well,
L'chaim.
to tell you the truth, this may not be a Ren fair, but that is a Daryl Hannah photograph.
Where is she?
Oh, you mean that? Okay, all right. It's a photograph that came up with a search for.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's not her.
Okay. Do you know who it is?
No.
No, it's a girl at a concert.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it is because I can actually see the lighting rig behind her.
Yeah, I think it's a real photograph, but mister, you
Yeah.
don't check your content
Yeah,
before you...
she has a very bizarre looking Star of David.
Yes.
Oh, I see it. It's a menorah inside the Star of David. That's why it's got that lacework in it.
Well, at least it's the same religion.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, it could be a different Daryl Hannah. Or I don't know. I don't know why. I mean,
Oh my God!
It's
Sean
just
Young.
And
Goodness
from the movie
gracious.
Cats,
Was she in Cats?
well, that might have been.
Well,
No, that looks suspiciously AI.
I did ask for Sean Young on the set of Blade Runner, and decided to give me a mannequin, I think.
No, you got Sean Young on the set of Cats, the movie. That's...
Woof. Okay.
Oh, Harrison, what's happened to your face? Oh, he got stung by a bee. He's had an anaphylactic shock.
Ay, ay, ay.
Get the EpiPen.
Yeah, okay. I think we know that's not them.
That most assuredly is.
Yep.
Yeah. Although far more lighting than that portion of the film, which we will be getting to tonight.
Yeah.
And, yeah, because
Oh, yes.
the film was dark, but that scene was very dark. Lighting-wise. And then, real replicant or AI replicant.
AI, definitely.
So that's they last even less time than replicants.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this a bad Rachel?
Yes, Sean Young was arrested today for impersonating a replicant. No, that looks like Rachel.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know.
This would be like the makeup test photos or something like that.
Oh, okay. It looked like a mug shot to me.
Yeah, that's why it was like, yeah, you just needed the numbers and the height thing behind her, and
Alrighty. And then
Oh.
how about this?
it's Joan Crawford playing Rachel, playing Sean Young. That's AI.
Joan Crawford, wasn't that actress on B-Sides one of these past weeks?
Oh yes, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
Mommy
that's pretty-
Dearest.
There we go.
That is Sean Young.
Okay. Now,
Oh.
Oh my God, we're back to the Cats
Yes.
movie again.
was she replicated here?
Poorly. You need more toner.
I like the bald spot in the top of the
Yeah,
head
yeah.
on
She's
the
become a
right.
monk. It's
The Spanish Inquisition, which you never expect.
I mean,
Ego.
he goes like, yeah, wanted replicant. None of this is wanted. You go, none of this. Nobody wants this. This is terrible right here.
Okay, well, you get your wish because we're done.
Oh my God.
Back to the film.
That 4-year lifespan finally paid off.
Back to the film. Oh, after just brief
After
excerpts
these
here.
commercial messages.
Yes, for our commercial messages.
A word from our sponsor, which is Nobody Is Us.
But Liza, since you did these designs for me, I mean, why don't you take the lead here?
All right, guys. So a way you can support our work and help us get paid, you can buy one of my T-shirts and
Or sweatshirts.
or sweatshirts or hoodies. All of these designs are available on different types of garments, which are available on Lawrence's Bonfire store. And Bonfire is a great company because they are very careful where they source their garments. They do not source stuff from sweatshops. So it's
Yes.
they are garments with good energy.
Yeah, I
Or,
know them.
relatively good energy.
How did
Better
they get-
energy than most.
How can they get sweatshirts without sweatshops?
Well, it's not sweaty for the people working there. But anyway, that's why we went with them. Teespring didn't have that guarantee, so we went with Bonfire. That's another one that works with the YouTube
Yeah, they're a little more expensive, but
store shelf.
with good
Well,
reason.
I also
yeah.
selected all the different material types are sustainable fibers, and then I made sure that there was an organic option, cotton option in each of these, and what do you call it? Also recycled cotton for anyone that needs to wear cotton. Then that's a possibility for all the different design types. Okay, so that's enough of the sales stuff that's hard for me to do because I don't know. I'm just not good at it. But at the same time, I'd like to put more of my time into these streams as well as my other videos. And the more I am able to earn from YouTube as well as our other endeavors. Great. Yeah, we're devils.
No, common people is our endeavor.
Yeah. But also at Psyche Opera, check that out on YouTube.
Guys, you
At
can
Psyche Opera.
support us for free by helping Lawrence get to 1,000 subs. He's almost fully monetized.
Likes and comments.
Yes.
Hit that like button. Okay, so let's move on. This is where we left off. It was a real hard grab to get a screenshot of this because it kind of ducked out of the camera a lot. But that's where she basically, as he was about to dry her off and maybe tie her up in the back, she's like, poof. She lays him out.
Yes.
And then decides she's going to do some choking and stuff.
A couple of karate chops first to disable him, and then she's going to choke him with his own tie.
Yeah, but she needs to get her raincoat on first.
As one does.
Yeah, so she kind of puts this,
I mean, are you an amateur murderer? I mean, you always put on your easy-to-wash raincoat before you kill somebody.
Oh, yeah.
To make the evidence go away.
So now she's going to choke him, but she gets distracted because, well, I guess fortunately for Deckard, somebody's coming in. So she turns her head quick, and quick response, she bursts out of the room pushing this...
Denser?
pushing this lady to the side, I guess, a dancer.
Yeah.
With her hands up in the air, and she runs out. And there she is.
Oh, the
escaping.
Schlitz sign. I have a...
Schlitz, you're gonna give you shit.
It's Joanna Cassidy, Scott.
Was this woman in Total Recall?
Don't think so.
She's not on screen right now. That's Harrison Ford. But he comes chasing after her. You could always look it up on IMDb. You mean the lady that got an impromptu divorce?
She's running. She's running.
Consider this a divorce.
Consider this a divorce. No, that's Sharon Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I don't mean that woman. I just recognize her from. Wasn't she the Arnold's good girlfriend in Total Recall?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know, mixing them up.
All right. Well, anyway, as Deckard goes out running, he gets a brief glimpse here, but that's not the woman he's looking for. So, I mean, it was basically frantic looking around, and you see all sorts of street stuff happening. There was no music in this section, so I didn't extract it. I just got a bunch of clips, but it was pretty hyper fast moving. And every now and then you catch like something that could be a glimpse, but it's not. And then then you get a glimpse that is. And
yeah, Ego, you're right. I still don't know why they don't have the fluorescent light umbrellas for sale. It's a missed opportunity.
Oh yeah, those are good.
I'd buy one.
Yeah.
Now he's about to take a shot, but it looks like, no, that's not one, and so he's jumping over rails and all sorts of things. I love
Well, and
it when
again, this is him being a proper detective. He's worried about collateral damage. He doesn't want to shoot anybody that's in the way. He's looking for a clear shot.
well, that's nice of him.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Atari sign. Sorry, that's not going to last either.
Oh,
It'll last in our memories. And there we go. I love the don't walk sign.
Don't
because
walk. Don't
that
walk.
was some technology that is actually being used today. I remember it.
wait.
Yeah,
Wait.
Trancy,
Yeah.
down in Kentucky, went to Transylvania University in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, for an event. They had signs like this that basically would say, wait,
Yep.
wait, walk. Well, here it says, don't walk.
Don't walk. Don't walk.
Yeah. That's, of course, when you want to. And I don't know why I captured that.
Well,
guess
you
I was-
did.
Yeah, it was quick
yeah.
happy. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's her hiding.
Yep. And he's still looking and stuff.
And again,
Yeah.
she would be really good at evasion because of her job. She's for political assassinations, which also means getting the hell out of there after the assassination.
Yep. And we get some images of her there. And there's finally a point where she's like bolting up some stairs. There we go. That's the bolting up some stairs. And also you can see there isn't a strap going around the back there. So I'm not sure how that thing's staying on. At least the leather garment underneath. But anyway, she's bolting up the stairs, but we are about to get an audio clip with video, because that's where he kind of is able to lock in on her.
When she decides to run through the glass building.
Yep. Which you can see through, but also is not something. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're past it.
I missed it.
Yep. You missed all of Zora's end.
Well, I do have it. I have it as a video.
I'll keep going back because there's Leon, so keep going back.
Yeah.
That's after he shot her.
Okay, there it is.
Right there, 15.
That's the thing I missed. There we go. So now we're going to actually see this, and we're actually going to hear it. Very interesting thing going on in the score here. I believe the clip that we're supposed to be loading is 13.
15, I think.
15?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. 15A, in fact. Because there's two options here. This is one of the cuts that didn't make it to the final cut version.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, no, not Chariots of
Yeah.
Fire, anything but that.
Well, I think what Vangelis decided to do here is interesting. You get that sense of her really crawling towards the finish line. Okay, so no, what actually happened is Ridley Scott said, no, you cannot use one
Yeah,
of
no,
your
no
former
reuse.
No reuses.
Yeah.
And so we'll play what actually made it in, and that will be this version right here. And that means I need to click this And click.
Cross now. Cross now. Look at Atari.
Now I gotta pause it just to make sure we don't get too much continuous video and audio from the correct audio from the movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
YouTube will catch that. But it's like now, I mean, sound wise, after the gunshots, and you see that she does get hit.
Well, it starts.
hear
It
the
starts when you
heartbeat.
hear the heartbeat. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you hear the post saxophone.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, actually, now we get the musical portion. So let's go ahead with it. And so,
Might want to pause it for a moment.
yep. So anyway, yeah. In fact, I don't know. I'll finish it just so we can get.
Yeah,
I think
because
I
you
have
want
his
that.
line
You want
at
that
the end.
ending bit with the heartbeat
Yeah.
stopping.
But yeah, it's.
Yeah, I mean,
I
this
mean,
is
I like
a
how
this
they
is a
did
very very moving scene. You know, the you have Deckard he's done all the work. He's found her. You know, he's shooting her, but you see that she gets hit and basically loses a lung on the first hit, falls down, but he gets back up, and again it's that animalistic. I've still got to live, right? I'm still gonna fight. He then hits her in the other lung, and she's still trying to go, but breaking through this glass, and you can see the effect it's having on Deckard, right? That you're still killing something you know is alive. And I think Deckard has. I think there's a reason that he retired from the force, and that it already affected him quite a bit, because you can't. No matter what you call it, no matter how, what kind of cognitive barriers you try to put up, when you're killing a living thing that looks like a human, if nothing else, you're naturally, it's gonna affect you, and that they react and fight for life just like any human would affect him, and very clearly does when you see him.
Yeah, and the way they slow it down allows you to see the shots, feel the impact, and then also just feel
And then that
like-
heartbeat, right? When
Yeah.
it's and then it just and stops, and that's
Yeah,
All
this is a horrific scene. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
It's a,
I'll let it finish. And then the heartbeat
Yep.
stops. And then after this, they basically ask him for his credentials. Well,
Well,
I
it shows
think
him.
he just
So
shows him with.
yeah,
I think he just shows them without even being asked.
right. Yeah, and Scott. Yeah, I mean, it's that animal urge to stay alive, to keep going, and you know that she's doomed. Yeah, it's hard to watch from the audience, and properly difficult for Deckard to see as well.
So there we go. That's picking up where I unfortunately went to before, because I missed the cue. But anyway,
And our boy Leon saw it all.
Yep. There we go. So we know that he's there. He's present. And this is Mega Geek's famous quote. Move along.
Move along.
Move along. Yep. And there we go. We just see a little bit of the overall scene. And then he stops, not for a Budweiser, he asks for something else. Guangzhou or something like that, but it's some sort of a drink, beverage. Well, bottle. He's taking the bottle home. And right behind him,
Our boy Gaff.
who is the Mexican Edward James Olmos. And he just, I don't know, he has a way of expression. The way he just says it, Bryant.
Yeah.
And it's
Buying, son.
It's like, and I agree with you. He's got to be like higher up than Bryant even.
No, not Gaff.
No?
No, Gaff works for Bryant.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, that's what you think.
No, I know it is. I mean, he works for Bryant. Or here's the thing is, so Deckard, because
But his job is to make origami figures.
No, his job is to provide police cover for a Blade Runner that's retired but was brought out of retirement.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So, the guy that we essentially asked as a contractor to retire these Nexus 6 just dropped a body on the street. You're damn right I'm going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But he also has a little more information to share.
Yeah, which is going to be shared by Bryant. But I figured he's got to be, you know how like the real bosses like to hide themselves.
No,
You know?
no,
Like,
Gaff
I'm just gonna.
he's just another cog in a machine.
And he's like, I'm gonna fold these little paper things, and you guys do the actual work. I'll say cryptic things now and then.
Yeah,
Well,
what he does is
anyway.
he stays quiet. He listens like a smart detective does.
Okay. Well, anyway, so there's Brian, and he's, I guess he's happy with the work. Cold-blooded killer. That's why we got you. But then he tests him out, I believe, because he says, "One more to go," and that's when Deckard says, "3 more to go," and then Bryant recorrects him and says, 4 more to go. Because the replicant from Terrell Corporation is missing and didn't say anything. And so it's really 4 more to go.
Yep.
So that was kind of weird, but I guess it was kind of like a little bit of a testing situation, you know, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, I thought this was cool. The doors actually do lower down on the car.
Oh yeah, the spinners were complete. You know.
And so now he's got something to think about. Because this
And he's
Rachel.
like, this job just keeps getting worse. And oh, by the way, yeah, the one that just got added is somebody that I know.
And then I think here he does get a glimpse of her, and he's about to go after her.
He's like, hey, that looks familiar. Oh, wait a minute, I met someone else who also looks familiar.
Yeah, who comes up to him here. And it looks something like just about there.
Leon is a man of few words, and he makes his words count.
Yeah, he has an interesting line coming up, but at this point, he's interested in finding out how many years he has.
How long have I got to live?
Well, here's a an attempt to punch him, and it didn't really work out so well. How many years do I have to live?
Yeah.
And he says 4. And that's where the gun gets swiped away.
Yeah.
So Deckard doesn't have his gun, which is the only advantage he has.
He says 4, and then swipes his gun longer than you.
Yeah, and punches him out. Well, not out, but basically beats him around. Steam gets set free.
Yeah. While delivering his great one-liners.
Yep. Oh, there's nothing worse than the itch you can't scratch.
Whack. Oh, I agree.
I agree. And
now, time to die.
yeah, I have that one. I got his face in that one right there.
Yeah.
What was it? Wake up, wake up.
Wake
time
up,
to
little
die.
man. Time to die.
Yeah. And he gives it an accent and stuff too. It's like, what the hell? All right. So, but unfortunately for Leon,
He has been surprisingly ventilated.
with one shot this time. Interestingly enough, one shot from Rachel.
Well, a headshot does tend to put things down. Although he still struggles a bit.
Okay, so then Leon is out now. They just have some glances at each other. Now, I'm not sure what they do because they kind of skip that. Because you would think.
Oh, they come back to the apartment.
Well, they do, but do they just leave Leon there without.
Sure. I mean,
Anybody
you definitely don't
gathering
want to
him
have
up?
the police show up right now because she is
Yeah, exactly.
the business.
But I guess he calls it in later. I don't know.
They'll pick him up.
Hey,
I mean, you've already got a crew dealing with Zora, so, shouldn't be too much for them to walk.
Yeah. Maybe they shot a scene like that but didn't leave it in. Who knows? So anyway, there we go. We are about to play this that I felt was musically appealing. I think just before this moment, the line was that he said something about you got the shakes, and she's like, "Yeah." It's like, well, it's part of the business, and then she says, "I'm not in the business." Yeah, I'm not in the business. I am the business.
Yeah, this is actually a change in the soundtrack from the original.
Oh, okay. Well, in here, I mean, I thought, it's a very poignant moment because there she's basically explaining you're normally hunting. I mean, you are hunting my kind or me. And then we see him trying to recover from the job, which isn't pretty.
Well, again, he's amped full of adrenaline. Also had his ass kicked.
Yeah. And then there's some oral issues.
Oh, a little blood in the mouth never hurt.
Now, this music is different than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. All right. I didn't mean to replay it. Sorry about that. So anyway, I still captured that music because I thought it was good. Maybe not as good as the original, but
Yeah, it's different. I mean, I think I don't.
Yeah, I did capture a change there. I mean, I didn't know that wasn't in the original because this is what I have access to.
Yeah, there's a different one for the.
For the final cut, but I did notice a change there because it was almost like.
Yeah, it was like.
I didn't hear those motifs.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, I didn't hear those motifs, and then the almost random pitches.
Yeah.
Okay, I am trying to go back to my slides, and I am there. I just need to be able to click them. There we go. So anyway, this is where we left off here, and so he's trying to put himself together after this, and they're going to have some moments here. Yeah, that's the mouth cleaning.
Well, again, appropriate. You know that unlike so many movies where you get busted in the mouth and somehow all is well. No, I assure you,
No.
you're gonna get some bleeding interior lip action and maybe gum and tooth.
Yeah, and so she asks him here as he's cleaning up.
Yeah, Bayona, you're right. It's very Art Deco, and especially that Egyptian phase of Art Deco.
Oh yeah. And she says, "What if I go north? Would you follow me?" And he answers, "No,
Nope, I owe you,
I owe you one."
but someone
But-
would.
Yeah, that's where he says it right there. But someone will. So, kind of leaves her with that impression that she's still going to be hunted by somebody.
Hey, by the way, if you were wondering where all of the shoulder pads from the '80s came from, boy, does she has like the monopoly on it in this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, almost looking Romulan there.
Yeah, I mean it's again, I think it's very much that Art Deco style that they include in so much of this movie, and the triangular angle kind of stuff. It would be how you would draw a woman in like an ad during the Art Deco period.
But she's looking through some of his pictures and saying, "Okay, so are these real memories too?" You know, everybody's got their physical pictures. We don't have that these days. And
you missed an audio cue.
oh yeah,
17 was back.
17, and this is a good one. This is a good.
Gonna be some piano playing.
Yeah.
Gonna play that pie, Annie.
Looks like she does play a little bit. Now you said 17. Yes.
I believe that's what it was.
Yep. That would make sense. Here we go. I'll leave the playback controls up so I can pause it. This is extended.
There we go. Now we're back
Real
to our
saxophone.
real saxophone jazz.
Yeah. Probably, I don't know who, but at that time it would have been either David Sanborn or Raphael Ravenscroft playing a lot of the pop song material at the time.
Whoever Vangelis was friends with that played sax.
Common people.
He's
Who did he
exactly
say?
right. He said, Lawrence is totally lost when Jay is the one keeping him right.
Well, my muse is Mr. Brown after all.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
there's been a
beans.
few times where I've looked behind and was like, are you following me? Yes. Well, then
I'm
you're
do-
probably
I
doomed
do-
because I have
I
no
do
idea
this-
where I'm going.
I do the slides. I do the video. I present good shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward James Olmos. So
Real
anyway,
memories, real feelings, real dreams. Everything you can buy, just like the real thing. Exactly. We can remember it for you wholesale. Yeah, and Tom brings up, the huge amount of work that went into the set, unlike now where they just CG it or it would just look, soulless.
No, it was.
I wonder if there was a symbolic reason for using a real saxophone in this scene rather than the synth sax
Well,
thing.
it sounds more sensual. And since this is supposed to be like the love scene of the movie, if you could call it that.
I think Liza's right that the combination of the real piano, the real saxophone, is showing the humanity of the scene.
Mm-hmm. And also, at the time, I mean, you have that synth that's kind of saxy, but it doesn't sound like a saxophone, really.
Right.
You could tell
Right.
it's a synth.
You
And
could have
so-
played it other way. I mean, it's fine to do it that way, but I think there's a very specific reason that Vangelis and or maybe Ridley with input is making sure that the instruments are real.
Yeah.
Because again, this is the humanity portion.
Yeah, and there's things that you can do with a real saxophone that you can't with a synth, especially at that time. I mean, the synth at that time couldn't really be as close to real saxophone as today, and even today, it's still not there.
Yeah, and again, I don't think it has anything to do with the sound. I think it has everything to do with humans playing the instruments because this is a human moment.
Okay. I'm a sound guy. And fretless bass in the back.
Yeah. Also with ego there, it's real sax for real sex.
And the growling, which
Of course.
is very, very big in the 80s sax. I'm pausing it, of course, again, because this is a long enough sequence that we get stopped for it if we're not careful. So anyway, she's letting her hair down. I guess another symbolism of kind of like, I don't know.
I think she's actually looking at a picture that has the woman with the hair loose instead of just tied up in that severe fashion.
Okay. But still, it...
But also, again,
maybe
could be symbolic of her, loosening up and...
letting her guard down, so to speak.
Yep.
I mean, she's got nowhere else to go, really.
Yeah. Yes, she is, Ego. She's crazy as hell, but she is beautiful.
So tell us, what kind of crazy is she?
Sean Young is legit crazy. I mean, there's a reason that her career gets up and walks away, and it's because people just refuse to work with her because she was nuts. But again, I mean, it matches the hotness crazy scale. Love that bit.
And there we heard a little bit more of a synth pad and a pad underneath, and then almost like an electric piano type sound on top.
Yeah, she's having again, the reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I dreamt music.
I didn't know if I could play. I remember lessons. I don't know if it's me or Terrell's niece.
That's a very interesting question.
Play beautifully.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to answer it either
Well,
way.
he does. I mean, he does answer it, and it's very specific. There's a reason. You play beautifully.
Oh, yeah. Well, piano takes years to learn.
Well, but the thing is, she has implanted memories.
Yeah,
What would be
I
the
know.
difference?
That's what I mean. But that's what she's struggling with is with these
Right.
my memories, or
Did I
that were
learn?
implanted?
Am
or
I
did
actually
do it?
able to do these things, or?
And I
is this
get,
just-
I guess he's saying, what does it matter?
yeah.
You
Well,
play
what he's saying,
beautifully.
whatever the result, you play beautifully.
Yeah. Ooh. sure about that yet. Not sure about it. Getting up, walking away.
She has a there's a couple of things going on there. So one, the interesting tension between these two is absolutely real. They hated each other on set. Harrison was an utter ass, and she was a bit of the crazy, and so yeah, those two things were gave some interesting dynamics.
Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is move right here to where we left off in the video. Basically, they move on over somewhere. I mean, everything's dark, so you don't know where, just blinds in the back. And this is where...
She was heading for the door to get the hell out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he slammed the door, so that put a stop to that. And then he kind of pushes her back. It's a little bit rough. And, basically tells her, tell me to kiss you. Tell me to kiss you. She eventually does, and then then she volunteers something else, like, put your hands on me.
Well, but she explains the reason that she walked away is that she doesn't know whether these are actual feelings that are real, that she has any understanding of intimacy or love. She's having an existential crisis.
Yeah. Wow.
And like a normal man, Harrison's like, "That's nice, but can I get laid?" That's essentially what this boils down to.
Alrighty, so that was the romantic part of the film.
Oh, and we got a musical cue.
Yes, we do.
And with this scene, it will be lovely.
Yes, I can't leave things like this alone, even if they're short. And I believe that was in 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means it's the last one, the last musical cue of the evening. Now, I am sorry. There we go.
I'll allow it, common people.
Who's going to allow what?
He was talking about the scene previously, and he says, "I like this scene, and I don't know if I'm allowed to. It's 2024."
Oh, because he's a little rough?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is different. So yeah, there's a short musical cue, and then I thought it would just be lovely to end where we kind of began with Pris.
With Pris.
This
Putting
is
on her eye
three-part-
makeup.
Oh yeah, this is a 3-part series, folks, and next week we are going to do the 3 big hitters leading to the end. Pris's friend Roy stops by.
Oh, yes. Everything is coming together. Yeah, he goes right. The geisha was eating a red pill. Is that a sign?
And they take advantage of Sebastian's friendship, as they put it.
And go to visit their maker.
Visit the maker, and then after that comes the great climax. Woo!
Yes.
Woo! So anyway, folks, thank you for joining us this evening. Sorry if it's a little bit shorter, but yeah. I think that works out because next week is going to be a good conclusion because the way this thing ends, I think we're going to get a lot of great sound and just scenes out of it because
We got all of our pieces in place, and now it's time to start rolling on the final act.
And we'll finish it off. So anyway, thank you, chat, for joining us this evening. And please leave any comments after the any comments you have after the stream, or if you see us on the rewind, let us know. Let us know what you're thinking. And of course, please like it, share, and subscribe if at all possible.
Thank you, chat, for all of your support.
Yes, Liza, you've been quiet.
Well, just been enjoying the conversation.
She's just ready for the final step. She's like, all right, now we're going to get to it.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, that will be next week, folks. Same time, same channel. Anything you want to announce, Jay, before we depart?
I am not a crook.
Okay. I guess you're not on with Gooch later?
I don't believe so, no. But I
Okay.
will be. I'll be there Tuesday when we do Primal episodes 5 and 6, and then Thursday we'll be doing Arcane Season 2, Episode 1. We'll have a pretty good panel on that one. We have Little Platoon, Leon, Nick. That's a pretty solid banging panel.
All righty, folks. Well, I'm trying to remember what's going to happen next, but I'm about to hit end broadcast. It should allow me to play a scene to end it, and I believe it will. It did